everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. So if you guys haven't been following the bodybuilding channel, I highly suggest you go to the linked comment below and follow it. But I said if I got 150 likes on my latest PED vlog that I would make a video about the 5 things I hate about my Dodge Charger RT Police Pursuit package, and the year model is 2013 if you guys are brand new. So let's get started. All right, the first thing and the number one thing I hate about this car is the 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, in the civilian model of the 2013, I believe it comes with an 8-speed, but the police model still gets the 5-speed, and there's still 5 speeds in civilian models. But this transmission's absolutely terrible. Again, it's clunky. It can never figure out what gear it wants to be in, and when you come to a stop, sometimes it's in 3rd gear, and you can feel it kick down into 1st gear, like through 3 gears. Again, it doesn't react that quickly. Yeah, that is definitely the number one most annoying thing. Honestly, I wish they made Chargers in a manual. Again, you can get Challengers in a manual, but no Chargers come in a manual. I really wish there was a manual option. Again, obviously with the police package, they need an automatic. They can't be having a clutch and stuff. But again, I'm talking in RT in general. Come on. A manual would make this car 1,000 times better. The second thing I do not like about this car, the Dodge Charger RT, is the lack of a sport mode. So again, both RTs have paddle shifters. Again, with the police model, it's on the stick, this little column shifter. But with the civilian models, you have the paddles right here, which again are fine, and you can manually shift both the police and the civilian. But what I'm annoyed with is the lack of the ability to turn off the eco mode. So if you don't know, this car has cylinder deactivation, so when you're cruising on the highway, it will use 4 cylinders, giving you the ability to get around 25 mpg, which I highly appreciate. The only thing is, I wish there was an option like sport mode where I could turn it off and run on 8 cylinders all the time, especially when I'm, driving aggressively or just am going to pass a car, because there is a delay, and then sometimes the delay for the 8 cylinders to kick on fucks with the transmission goes into a super low gear and you're jerked back. It's just not a pleasant experience. And when I do drive in an auto stick, again, I just wish you could turn it off. Now, you can't turn it off by going in the computer on this car and manually shutting it off, but again, I wish there was just an option like to drive in automatic mode with all 8 cylinders all the time. Again, when you're driving with your sports car friends on the highway, again, you need that 8 cylinders on tap, and you might not want to be auto sticking all the time. Again, that's just my thing. Or if you want to pass on the highway and you're constantly passing people, you might not want to have to auto stick all the time. Again, that is just the 2 things, the transmission plus that eco bullshit, which you can't shut off, really makes for a weird driving experience in this car sometimes. And it's really hard to predict what the transmission and what amount of cylinders are firing are going to do as far as your driving experience. And that is what really screws it over. What I hate about this car is just the interior is so cheap. Now, again, I don't care, because I bought this car, again, for the engine and the very cheap price for the amount of miles it had on it. But I've been in my friend's Chrysler 300S, so the V8 version of the Chrysler 300, and you can see the exact same crappy quality material. I can literally pull this off. It feels cheap, but again, it doesn't matter with my car really, but I just hate that they haven't really stepped up the interior game, even in the brand new Chargers, which I've sat in when I went to look at Chargers. The first thing I hate about this car is the 5.7 liter Hemi motor. Now, again, this motor, there's nothing really bad about it, and it's very cheap to maintain, but let's face it, it's slow compared to the competition, aka the Mustang GT and Camaro SS. Now I know people are going to be like, well, there's the Scat Pack now. Okay, well, there hasn't been a Scat Pack the whole time. There's been the SRT. Again, in my opinion, why can't they make these cars come with around 420 from the factory? Again, it's also really not worth modifying. Like, if I want to modify this, why not just trade up and get a Scat Pack? That's where the 5.7 is really sitting right now. It's like not worth to do a lot of modifications unless you're going full out with the supercharger. But, you know, I'm just not a fan of the engine, besides the fact that, you know, it's so cheap to maintain. Final thing, which dreads me so much, freaking quiet these things are from the factory. It honestly sounds like there's a V6. Now, I do have the Corsa Extreme exhaust system. I made an entire video on what I think about it, and I think, again, with the brand new Chargers, they have the active exhaust, so basically you get a free catback when you buy the car, which, why the hell weren't they doing that in 2013? I don't know. But you absolutely need a catback, in my opinion, to hear the freaking thing. Otherwise, people don't even know it's a V8. And I bought this car to hear the V8 engine. That was my big ploy, was the V8, the sound, the grunt. That's what I was after. And when I bought this car stock, it sounded like a V6, and it's like, why waste all this gas to run the 2 extra cylinders if you can't even hear it? That's the thing that grinds my gears the most. And again, it's solved with the catback exhaust. I'm sure if you got long tubes, it sounds phenomenal. But that's a lot of money to get a catback and long tubes. You're looking at, like, for this car, you're looking at like $2,500 for all that. Which, again, not a lot of people want to spend on a depreciating asset. So those are the 5 things I hate about this car. Overall, I really like this car for what I bought it for. Again, it transports 4 people. Big old V8 in it. Spin the tires. Sounds nasty with the exhaust. And it's just aggressive and sharp. But again, no car is perfect, as Parker from Vehicle Virgins has been saying forever. And this car definitely has some flaws and some things that can be easily fixed from Dodge. But they just need to get on that. Again, the Charger RT has really dropped in what it competes with. And now it competes with basically like the V6 Mustangs and stuff. And now there's Scat Packs. So again, I guess they did fix it. But those are my complaints. The biggest complaint, it's quiet and the transmission sucks when it's stock. Other than that, it's a pretty damn good car that's cheap to maintain. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out my bodybuilding channel and subscribe for more videos.